Warning Army, Stalker, live. No, really. Hey there. I apologize for mislabeling the last video. Thank you very much for catching it as rapidly as you did. I was editing another video, and when I came out of it, I went, ah! So I fixed it as quick as I could. Thanks again for your help there. Before we go any further, I want to address something that I saw in the comments, and I don't know if it really needs addressed. I think the commenter was just trying to warn me somehow, but the name of this channel, he pointed out that on the street it means meth. Now, I want to point out that that's not where this name comes from. And I'm going to show you now where this name comes from. So here we go. Okay, so there you go. That's where the name comes from. It comes from this song by Ronnie Montrose, the great Ronnie Montrose. Self-titled album came out in 1973. The frontman and singer of that song is none other than the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar. That riff, that signature riff that's in there, is probably in the top 10 riffs of all time for most any rock guitarist that's ever heard it. So that's where it comes from. It comes from a song that really caught my attention when I was 17, and kind of influenced my direction when I started playing rock later. So that's all it is. I don't want to hear more talk like that. It's just this. That's what it means. It has to do with rock, and if you're a musician, you got it as soon as you saw it. Okay, so moving on, and that's the last time I'm going to explain this. Moving on, one commenter said to me, and I think this commenter was right. I didn't spend enough time with the one, and part of the reason that happens is I'm trying to look at these performances from a performance-only standpoint. The history, everything else that goes into the song. I depend on the comments to inform me and teach me and round out our knowledge of this song. And I'm assuming that most of the fan base knows a lot of this, and obviously you do, because you've really informed me on this particular song. But I think there's some merit to what this commenter said, and I can't use the commenter's handle because it's user blah 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 blah, and there's a whole bunch of letters and numbers behind it. But I appreciate this comment because I do want to dig deeper into each of these songs. I do want to dig deeper into what happens, and I kind of always envision that as something that'll happen as time goes by. This won't be the last time that we play the one. And this person commented, can you do this as a standalone song and give it some more love? Yes, absolutely. We will do that. Right now, what I'm trying to do is familiarize myself with their entire history, the way they developed from beginning to end. And in fact, if I was doing this right, probably we would go back to the basement and start there. But I think it's kind of okay to step in the middle and take a look at how things are and where they're at, and maybe have a better idea when you go back and look at how that developed out of that into that. You already know where it's going. So to that person, I'm going to say, I apologize, but this channel is definitely about performance. I'm trying to just say to you, this is what I experienced when I played live in these different types of venues and these different types of bands that I've been in. So I don't tend to linger on the songwriting aspects much as the songwriting itself. Did they, what is it? How does it? Do they express it? Having said that, because I appreciate that comment, I took a few other comments from the one from this last video about the one, and I'd like to share them with you. Waldo Kitty said that Danny wrote this song at 15 while she was homesick. First of all, at 15 years old, oh my God, I was still playing with crayons. So she was homesick, and while being and I understand homesickness. It's a much more powerful emotion than people think if they haven't ever experienced it. My dad's job moved us every year and a half or 2 years. And it was always just like, wow, starting over every time. So Danny wrote this while being extremely homesick, and I guess it was really heavy on her. Waldo Kitty said that in the middle of that, she realized that she could harness that emotion. And Waldo also pointed out that she sings this alone. There's no backup vocals or anything. I think that's a good point because it's what it's about, right? And J. Luis G622 said that in Spanish the title is Huele a Melon. And he said it's a beautiful song. And that's a beautiful, if I said that right, that's a beautiful title. And I just wanted to bring that up. Crash 66 comes to our rescue again by telling us that it uses parts of the song Ugh. And that's not the only song that is cannibalized from Ugh. And I think that's excellent idea. The Beatles did it all the time. And it helps you to immediately identify with what you're listening to, because it's like, oh, that's familiar, you know. But it's used in a different context, so it makes it fresh and new. Kansas Cayman said that the key changes were influenced by K-pop. Now, while I like J-pop a lot, I'm not real familiar with K-pop, so I'll go check that out and see what I can see about K-pop before we do this as a standalone. And finally, MTH58 said that Mom contributed a line to this song by singing an existing line incorrectly, which we've all done, right? You know, I mean, I used to say Elton John song, everybody sings that wrong, right? I think a Volkswagen commercial where they had everybody singing their version of where he says, burning out the fuse up there alone in Rocket Man, right? But everybody's singing something different. I always used to say, burning down the tops of treetops alone or something like that, because I had no idea what he was saying. Or Jimi Hendrix, excuse me, while I kiss this guy instead of kiss this guy, right? So Mom heard it wrong, and the line was, that made my heart explode. But she was singing, that left my heart exposed. And they changed the line and put that in there because it is obviously a brilliant line. It just really is, because when you sing, that made my heart explode, in my mind, if I was writing that song, I would say, okay, that's a finality. That made my heart explode. Okay, it's over. It's done, right? But if you want to show the damage done, that left my heart exposed. So what follows after that, right? Your heart's vulnerable now, and even the smallest thing can do more damage or add more weight to the already existing, you know, agony of what you've experienced or are in the middle of experiencing. So I think that's just a cool little nugget of information, and I thought I would share that with you if you hadn't seen it. Okay, so let's go on. A little house cleaning there. I wanted to get it done. And let's listen to, let me make sure I've got the right spot here. This is a great little, somebody in here. See, if you guys do this kind of thing, it makes it so easy. And I was not using this list. I was using one I'd written in my notebook, which is why I thought I was listening to Stalker. But now we are going to listen to Stalker. And so let's get going. I'm sorry I talked so long, but I wanted to get that out of the way, and I didn't want you to miss it.
We both could be. I'll have you forever. Look at me, my dear. Look at me, my dear. I love you so. What don't you know that you are mine? Say I'm yours, my dear. Say I'm yours, my dear. I'll lock the door before you go. Say it again. It's crazy how much I love you. It's crazy how much I want you. It's crazy. Oh, you don't even know. It's crazy how much I think about you. It's crazy how I can live without you. It's crazy how my love needs to grow. I'm a maniac when it comes to you. I'm obsessed with what we both could be. The possibilities. It's crazy how I need to have it. It's crazy. It's a lovely habit. Yes, or no whichever. I'll have you someday. One turn love me. Touch me. Let me in your heart. One turn watch me. Touch me. Like I'm done from the start. One turn love me. Touch me. Let me in your heart. One turn watch me. Touch me. Like I'm done from the start. Look at me, my dear. I love you so. 'Cause I am yours and you are mine.
Okay, I want to talk about this a little bit before we go on. It'll make it easier to separate the two in my mind. The right hand choice for strumming that was excellent. Dun 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 dun. Right? That was perfect. I mean, instead of this boring, repetitious dun 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 dun, it's dun 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 dun. And I was talking to somebody in the comments about, or maybe in an email, which, by the way, my email is meant for business, so I don't care if you send me an email, but try to limit how often you do it. Because I can talk to you in the comments. And I was talking to somebody in this email, and I said, I think it's very instructive that people understand that it's just as important what they leave out as well as what they put in. So, I mean, sometimes leaving something out is much more important. You know, how many times have you listened to a song and there's a break in the song, but you put that melody or that rhythm or both in that break in your mind, and then fall and, you know, back into the song with it, and somehow it allows you to participate in what you're hearing. And that's what she was doing to an extent, because there's this da 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 da, and then the break, da 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 da. It's a very, very cool rhythm, and I liked it a lot. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I liked it, but I noticed that there was this dissonant sound when she was playing the keys, and I don't know if she intentionally did that on the keys or if that's feedback from her guitar. Either way, it worked. So tell me, you know, maybe you can tell me in the comments if you hear this in later performances or in the studio, is that sound present? If you want to wait and just let me find out on my own, that's fine too. I liked the feeling of the song. The overall feeling atmosphere of it was that what's going on in your mind, right? I mean, how sick are you? Or how sick is this person? Excuse me. So it gave that vibe, and it allowed you to participate in what she was singing about. I liked it a lot, a lot. Okay, we're gonna do one more because I promised two at a time. So here we go.
Tell me what I must do to atone for what I did to your soul. Tell me to step over fire. What is your desire? 'Cause it is done. One word and it'll be done. The game you already won. Invisible, I am bleeding. I'm pleading. Listen to me. I know that it was just a mistake, but you don't forget that. You don't forget that. You don't forget. To tell you, to tell me, to tell you that it's alright. When we take another step closer towards demise. To tell you, to tell me, to tell you that it's alright. But we know it ain't. 'Cause the rain has failed our fate. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Tell me, when did you get to decide? Was it a matter of pride? If it's the price of betraying, what is it I'm paying? It's overdue. Your reason is overdue. Come on, I just want the truth. Do I resemble the rage and the chains that tie you down? I know that it was just a mistake, but you don't forget, and you don't forget, yeah, you don't forget. To tell you, to tell me, to tell you that it's alright. When we take another step closer towards demise. To tell you, to tell me, to tell you that it's alright. But we know it ain't. 'Cause it has sealed our fate. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, God! Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. To tell you, to tell me, to tell you that it's alright. When we take another step closer towards demise. To tell you, to tell me, to tell you that it's alright. But we know it ain't. 'Cause it has lived our fate. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, 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 oh.
Okay, I want to slide back here a little bit on Danny. I want to talk about something that a power trio guitarist deals with. See that chord she's making? So that's a bar chord, but this is considered a full bar chord. And now power chord would be this finger and this finger right here on these two strings, or possibly alternate strings, just on either side of the A string. So you would get, you would get the full impact of the bass and the power, but you would, but you could be a lot faster. Okay, so part of the things that limits Danny, whether she likes it or not, and I never did, but it's kind of what you need to do in a power trio, is she pulls these full bar chords. Basically, this is a full triad, and she's making the nut of the guitar right here. Okay, and she's doing that so that if you played an open chord down here, like right now she's playing what looks to be the A minor chord. Okay, so but that becomes like if it's the third fret or it's the second fret, so it's a F sharp minor. It's hard to tell. It's hard. That's why I didn't like this angle. Let me put it this way: the nut right here acts. This finger acts as the nut. So would be a full open chord down here. It would give a full range of all 6 strings if you wanted to use them, or 5 of the 6, or 4 of the 6, however you needed to make it a full sound. Some strings that are open just don't work with the rest of the chord, but depending on the chord. But anyway, so she can take this and slide it all the way up and down the neck, and with this one triad, the same triad. She never has to remove the triad. And then when she wants to drop an octave or drop a fifth or whatever it is, she has to go move all these 3 fingers over one, and then it becomes an E major with the nut, if it was open right here with the guitar nut. So she can move through all of the chords in 2 octaves, for example, and by doing that, she gets this gigantic sound. Okay, but look at what it's doing to her hand. See that? When I would finish a show and I was 23 and physically fit to the max, I just come out of the Marine Corps, that my hand would be sore at the end of the night or at the end of practice or anything else, because you need the fullness of that chord. All right. But if you're playing in Judas Priest, for example, or any other band that's like that, speed metal or even heavy metal, she only needs this, and the other fingers can come off and her hand can rest. So I'm making a chord now, but I'm only using these 2 fingers, or these 2 fingers, or 1 finger in some cases. All right. Like if you listen to War Pigs, big chunks of that, Tony Iommi's just playing with 1 finger, So, but what they do is that you enhance the guitar in other ways. You can double it on the tracks in the studio. So she may not have to do that in the studio, but she has to do it live. So she probably does it all the time. And so I'm getting too long-winded on that. But I wanted to point out that I've never not seen her do that. And one of the things that I've noticed is when she's playing these full chords, she's got that pinky finger, and I've never been able to stretch my pinky, which is another reason I don't play a lot of lead guitar. She'll sometimes get that pinky stretched out there, and she's grabbing a diminished chord or a 7th or something like that, or a 9th, and now she's got everything working with the thumb pressed against the back of the neck, right? And that's what she's gripping on that guitar. And as far as I'm concerned, from what I'm looking at, that's a wide neck. That's not a narrow neck like a Fender would be, or some Ibanez's. So I just wanted you to know she's working her tail off right there. And that happens every second of every song. And yet she's nailing the chords without any buzzing or muted strings or anything like that. And so she creates this thunder. So it takes so much effort to do what she's doing. And now what she's doing that as a teenager in a live venue, probably in her head, there's this problem and that thing going on and the other thing, and maybe I can't quite hear myself so I'm trying to get across to you that if you have ever played in power trio, well, in any band, because it doesn't just apply to a power trio, that when you go on stage, the way you put on a good performance is overcoming all the obstacles. Every night, every time, maybe even the same place, night after night after night, doesn't matter. You're going to have a new set of problems. because they come in a different order, or they're a completely different problem. So I went on and on and on about that because I'm not sure that I'm getting across the idea that I really see the work they're doing. I don't always comment a lot on much more than, okay, that performance was this, or that song was written this way or that way. But I wanted you to understand that I see the work that they're putting in. And I also want to see more of what Ale is doing, because what she's doing on over there on the side fills in anything that Danny's not able to cover. And it's doing it. She's doing it. She's actually doing it. So I look at that whole package there, and I don't even have to include Pal at this point, because everything that happens up front, where they are and what they're doing, that is the thing that, in my mind, as a guitarist, has to happen first and foremost. Because Pal has her arena, and this is what it is. And now what she's got to deal with would be a whole different kettle of fish in terms of what do I do in this song to fill it out. And a percussionist is going to know that much better than me. But I will say that in my mind, she probably has to constantly devise ways to put in fills that stretch, that they don't become overbearing, and yet they still allow for flavor into the song. Okay, I've talked enough. I'm rambling. I'm talking too much. I just wanted to, and I'm not that smart. I'm just going by what happened to me as a guitarist in a power trio. That was the hardest work I did right there. My hand on that neck. Over here is all day long. Different kinds of strumming, finger picking, whatever. Fine, not a problem. You can do that for 8 hours. This over here, there's a limit. And thank God she's got piano fingers. See how long they are? You know, that might make it easier for her than it did for me. But man, I'm telling you, there were times my fingers just like arthritis. So it's a lot of work, and it's a relief when you get into a bigger band and you can just play the power chords. It's 2 notes here, 1 note there. Yeah, and boy, you sound good too, man, because you got these pedals doubling everything and making it sound fatter. And she's got that advantage now. She can do that, and that's why she's got that big pedal board, because then she can tailor that sound and maybe give herself a break on some of that later on. But so far, I haven't seen her do it. I've seen her, and she's like me. I'm 68 years old, and I still play bar chords when I play rock, because to me, it's the only way. I mean, that's why I hear it. So anyway, now I'm going to shut up. So I loved this. I love everything about it. And I just wanted to, give you my 2 cents there. And it might not even be worth that much. But anyway, if you want a great examination of this band, and I've only seen one thing by him, but I'm sure he's done others because he's done interviews with, and that's Wings of Pegasus. And I have some links, or I have a link to him, I think, on the homepage. If I don't, I'll go check that out and make sure I put it there. But and if you want to understand more about this kind of application, go see Rick Beato. That guy's a wizard with music. He just is. So if you're more interested in a more technical and, actually relevant explanation of what's happening from the technical side, those are the guys to go see. So I loved this, and I appreciate you guys being with me through this very long video, but I had some things I wanted to get out there and let you know, as this channel is growing, I'm finding that I'm starting to have to drop some things and pick some other things up. So I wanted you to understand where I was at in terms of how I view what I do here and what you can expect from me. And hopefully that cleared some of that up for you. If you are of a mind, there's a thank you button down there. You can help me upgrade this stuff. It'll take a while for the actual donation to get to me. Because I'm not even yet fully monetized, but I'm getting close, thanks to y'all. And also, of course, then they take time to actually make the transaction. So it'll be a little bit. You won't see an immediate result, but I appreciate your help if you can give it. Also, hit the subscribe button. That will get me over the top to be able to get fully monetized, and then we can talk about a merch store or Patreon and that kind of thing. So there it is in all its glory. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Point out anything you think I got wrong, and we'll talk about it. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for all your support, and I'll see you later. Bye now.